So today I'm going to show you something a little bit different. You see, as developers, we are used to the fact that sometimes we make mistakes. But we assume that large companies, for example, Google and Apple and Facebook, they don't make all these mistakes. We assume as developers that they must be perfect. Their developers must be better than us, when in fact, that's not true. They make mistakes just as often as we do. Somebody posted an error on Stack Overflow about 17 hours ago, and I ran across it this morning. And it confused me a little bit because it just didn't seem right. The main reason is that items is returning 0, and it's also returning a next page token. Now, if we look over at the actual request that the user is making, they are looking for a list of events from a calendar. It just so happens that they are checking the holiday calendar for Australia. Now, why I find this strange is that to have a next page token in the response would imply that there are additional events available for the request. But how can there be additional events available if there are no events? Now, the problem with this request is it doesn't actually tell us a total results from the request. A lot of the Google APIs will have an extra field at the bottom here telling you that in total there are 5,000 rows available for your request. And then you will be able to next page over them based upon the limit. So this just seemed a little strange to me. So I thought that I would do a bit of testing on it. And I found some rather interesting things in my test. And as it's Sunday and I didn't actually have a video available to go up, I thought I'd try something different here. And I would just put this up. I don't intend to do the normal editing that I do on this. So please feel free to listen if you want to see how I go through and debug your issues on Stack Overflow. As you can see by my count, and if you don't know me, I am DAIMTO on Stack Overflow, and I spend a lot of time debugging the issues that people have with Google APIs, basically as a hobby, because I have nothing better to do, and I find it a lot of fun. Basically, because I find stuff like this sometimes, which is really cool. It makes me, it makes me happy to think that Google has bugs just as like we do. They are no better than us. Okay, so in order to test this, I thought it would be easier just to use Postman. I have another video coming out later this week on how to use Postman with the Google APIs. But just for the fun of it, let's just go with this. I will be deleting this API key, so if anybody that realizes that, yes, I am showing you all my API key, it will be deleted before I set this live, so don't worry about that. So, let's test this, how it's supposed to come back. What I have here is the Danish holiday calendar. So this is the calendar ID. If we look at the request itself, this is the calendar ID that I am passing to the API, which just so happens to be the public calendar for Denmark. And when we look at the response, as you can see, it returns the normal response that you would expect to see, where it returns a list of items, and each item is an actual calendar date where we have a holiday, which is as you would expect to see this. Perfectly normal, no problems here. But what you can see here is there actually is no next page token in this response. And that basically should mean that we have all of the events available, or all of the holidays available in Denmark for that year. I haven't gone through to check it, but let's assume it does. So let's go over and check for Australia. If we look here, I'm actually just sending the calendar ID for the Australian calendar. And again, I'll delete my API key. When I send this, look at the response. Look how different the response is. I'm not getting any items back, but what I am getting back is a next page token. So what do we do with that next page token? Well, what you can do is you can send it as a page token back to the API, and this should return the next set of responses. But again, there are no responses in the first request, so why would there be any responses for the next page? But guess what? There are. So in order to get holidays from the public Australian calendar, you actually need to make two requests. You need to make a single request that returns no events, but gives me a page token, which I can then send another request to get my actual responses back. So again, this is obviously a bug. It doesn't make any sense to me why the two calendars would appear differently. I have absolutely no explanation for this. And if you're curious, I'll add a link to my issue report on the issue forums. Feel free to sign up for it. I honestly don't have much faith in it getting fixed anytime soon. I just found it entertaining. So I hope you had a great time. And I just thought it would be something interesting for you to see on a Sunday afternoon. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little observation about bugs and how I go about debugging issues that I find on Stack Overflow that appear interesting. So this is Linda from Developer Tips, and I hope you have a great Sunday, and I hope to see you back again soon. Bye.